I'm here to talk about one of the biggest challenges that faces a company, and that's hiring a true salesperson. And this is such a challenge because the key is to think like a salesperson. The problem is that most executives of these companies, they're not salespeople. So they can't figure out how salespeople think. And this is a big problem. And so I have a quick tip for you. The best way to hire a salesperson, think like a salesman. And what does that mean? 3 things. Salespeople read sales motivational books. They can tell you a principle. They learn from those books easy, like that. And they also have sales stories. You can't be around a true salesman for any length of time without them telling you a great story about how they closed that big deal and rung that prospect in, and their secret close technique, yada, yada, yada. So what you have to do is apply that principle. Now you know what a salesman is, 3 character traits. All you have to do now is boil that down. You have a huge number of candidates applying for your sales job. Then all you have to do is ask them the first question: can you name a sales book, a motivational book, or a self-help book that you read? You're going to find that the vast majority of candidates can't name one, not one single solitary book they've read, motivational book. That will narrow the field by 2/3, easily making your task much easier. Now, all you have to do is ask them the second question. What did you learn from that book you read? Tell me a principle that you applied to that motivational book you read, from How to Win Friends and Influence People, or Zig, See You at the Top. There's still room at the top. Or Tony Robbins' motivational series of tapes. Tell me something you learned from that you applied. That's going to narrow it even further. Few people can name a couple can name it, but then they can't tell you anything they learned, which means they didn't apply the principles in the book. Now, the killer. If they pass these 2 tests, and you should have just a handful left after you apply this, the question then is, can you tell me a sales story? Can you tell me a story where you closed that sale, or even the one that got away, or how you applied these principles and closed that big sale? You cannot be next to a true salesman for any length of time without them sharing a story of how they closed that sale, their biggest sale, how they got their sales goal. And so when you have these candidates there and they're silent, you hear crickets, they don't have any stories to tell you, they're not salespeople. And when you do find that one guy, and he can name 5, 6 motivational books he's read. He can tell you 5 or 6 things he's implemented from those books. And he has a bunch of stories and you got to stop him. Bingo, you have a salesman right in front of you. Now you know exactly how to hire a true salesman. I was hoping you take this tip and take that complicated task of being in a quandary about how am I going to find a salesman, throwing your hands up after have failed hiring salespeople and giving up and saying, I got to do it myself. No, they're out there. They're few and far between. You can find them. Use these principles, these 3 questions, and you can find that salesperson.